We get the floor.
Hi, everybody. It's Jean Humbrecht with Humbrecht Law, criminal and traffic defense attorney in Manassas, Virginia. Welcome to my semi-weekly local business spotlight. Today, I am joined by two very special guests, actually. This is the first time I've had two guests on at the same time with P.L.C. Roofing Contractors. So I'm going to tell everybody a little bit about your business, and then I would like you guys to just both introduce yourselves to everybody and then share anything else you want about the business.
Sounds good.
So P.L.C. Roofing Contractors is a family-owned and operated business. They have been in business for over 17 years with their main office in Warrenton. They also have an office in Winchester, physically located at the moment, and are newly licensed in West Virginia and cover a huge service area. They specialize in home exterior projects, including roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutter, solar, and more, and offer free estimates, which I'm sure is probably very important to people. All right, so at this point, you guys, if you can introduce yourselves and then tell us all anything you want about the company, and then we'll just go into questions.
Sounds great. Hi, everybody. I'm Valerie with P.L.C. Roofing Contractors. I'm the brand ambassador for P.L.C. Roofing. Been with the company for 5 years now, and I am joined by the one and only Michael Melfa. Hopefully you guys have seen him around as well. He just had a really great video posted today. He shows a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we do. So Mike, take it away.
My name is Mike. I've been here with P.L.C. for coming up on 10 years. Started off in this industry about 23 years ago, so more than half my life. Started off as a grunt, worked my way up to the chain, up the ladder. Okay. And, I cleaned up trash, ran magnets, did installation for a very long time, specialized in all types of standing seam, shingles, slate, custom roof systems. And now here at P.L.C., I manage the service department who handles warranty claims. And I'm also in sales and do a lot of inspections and kind of wear a couple other hats here at the company. So it's pretty awesome.
Mike?
Hey, before we get deeper in this, we had a couple dad jokes we wanted to drop.
Oh, I am so sorry that I was gonna start it off, but that's okay because now everybody's actually watching it.
Prepared.
Okay, so you go and then I'll go.
So we can blame that awkward pause on you. No.
Sure.
Okay. I'm joking. So hey, all right. So you ready? How much does the chimney on a roof cost? Nothing. It's in the house. Classic. All right, and last one. This is from my 10-year-old Olivia. How do you get a tissue to dance?
You put a little boogie in it.
That's good. Little shimmy.
That's her favorite.
So hey, real quick, kind of going back to what I do and what Valerie does. Overall here, our main goal is customer service. Every single day we have men and women out in the field who are tackling, different things, a lot of challenges. The world we live in nowadays is different than it was 10 years ago. So we've learned to adapt and do our best to accommodate everybody's needs. But we have, like you said, we have such a wide area that we service. We find ourselves kind of going outside of our normal working area. And we build such a great rapport in these areas that are further away than what we're used to. Next thing you know, we're doing 10, 15 houses in these neighborhoods. And then we have a new service area because we can't get away from it. But
right.
We're blessed enough to say that, we continue to have local support along with a lot of other support from surrounding communities, and us being just newly licensed in West Virginia as well. That's opened up a whole nother horizon for us, especially when it comes to our solar installation. We've had a lot of hits out there with solar. We know that Virginia and West Virginia is kind of getting on board with solar that DC and Maryland already been on board with. But we have a lot of opportunities coming up on that we're super excited about. And we just want everybody to keep us in mind for really any of your exterior needs, whether it's roofing, siding, windows, gutters, doors, exterior trim. And if there's something that we don't do, we usually know people who are just as good as us, if not better, in that trade that can help out.
Absolutely. And my position at P.L.C. being the brand ambassador, I love to go out and talk to anybody who's willing to hear a little bit about P.L.C. and our background and what we do and the services we provide. So that's how Jean and I met, is doing all kinds of networking events and being out and about in the community. So again, I would love to, if there's anybody that would like any one-on-ones or any type of just more information or details on how P.L.C. does and what we do, I am.
Okay, well, I want to start with asking a couple questions that I thought of, and then this will probably just flow into a conversation. But before I do that, I just want to let everybody know who's watching. If you have a question or comment, feel free to type it in the chat box, and we can get Mike and Valerie to answer it while we are live. Or if you're seeing the replay later, we can always get an answer to you. Or if you have a good dad joke that you want to send our way, I can read those as well.
Love to see it.
All right, so so my first question is, being a new homeowner, I would think about this. Is there any job that is too small for you to do? Like, will you do just gutters? Will you do just, a small, yeah, I don't know. Is there anything that's too small?
No, I mean, we kind of make it a joke, and a lot of people say it, but there really is no job too small, too big. I mean, we obviously, like any other company, have a minimum, for when it comes to a total cost. But if there's stuff that we can do while on site, obviously that minimum is going to be a lot less because we don't have to go back out. We don't have to get material. We don't have to involve any type of scheduling ladies in the office. So, I mean, we've done full roofs on dog houses, literally, and been done. That was the job, and we were complete. So, we do something as small as even gutter cleanings on a one-story single-family home. There's really nothing that we would say no to.
Okay. Joey Joyce, who actually was on my last local business spotlight 2 weeks ago, he owns Lakeside Tree and Landscape. He asked, do you work with any tree companies for tree damage removal?
Yeah.
So one company that we've actually been linked up with a lot lately, and they've thrown a lot of business our way, is Davy. I think it's Davy. They're pretty well known, Northern Virginia area, but we've had a pretty nice working relationship with them lately.
But Joey would love to get your information with your company if it's your company.
It's Joey's company. I can connect you guys.
Absolutely. Love to get his information. It's always great to have other P.L.C partners for sure.
Okay, Joey, I can tell Joey is still watching because he's responding. So Joey, I'll connect you with Valerie and Mike. See, this was awesome. Pretty great.
I wonder if I met Joey at a lead cheer group, actually. That name's really familiar, but nonetheless, would love to connect.
Gene, real quick, I have to apologize to you and your viewers. I just realized that you all should be wearing sunglasses the way the light's bouncing off my head. So
I wasn't going to say anything.
I do apologize in advance. So maybe the next time I'll wear a hat. So.
Okay. Well, now I have warning for all of my future guests to be wary of the lighting, especially if you don't have much hair.
Correct. Yeah. It's by choice, I promise.
Okay. Okay. So I'm reading the description to get my next question here. Okay. Question about siding. Because in particular, I'm thinking of my own home when I ask these questions right now. Do you do anything involving like power washing of decks and sidings, or, I mean, what exactly do you mean by?
Yeah. So, usually when it comes to siding, it's repairs and replacement only, if it's one piece or if it's the whole house. But again, we have a local group that we work with who specializes in soft wash cleanings on siding, and they even do roof cleanings to restore the look of a roof. It might not be in bad shape whatsoever, but it just looks bad. They can make it so clean that it looks like it was just put on, less than a few years ago.
So are these power washing companies that you're talking about?
So they are cleaning companies now. I don't consider it pressure washing, but they consider it a soft wash when it comes to stuff on the house, because vinyl siding, especially, is very fragile when it comes to a really hard PSI. So same with the shingle. Yeah, they do soft washes, so they're pretty careful with it. But I think the same guys actually do, brick cleaning stuff that you don't have to worry about pressure with, and then sidewalks and things like that too. So everybody says we have a guy, right? So we have a lot of girls and guys that can help us out.
Joey actually said that he thinks that you guys did meet and the light is not that bad.
Thanks, Joey.
I thought Joey and I did meet. The name was really familiar, but we would love to definitely connect. And like I said, we love building our P.L.C partners. Yeah, Joey said blows the siding right off with a power washer. He's 100% correct.
We've seen it. We've seen it happen.
Oh, wow. Okay. So he also asked, what would be your best target customer? And great minds think alike, because I was going to ask that too. So who is your target customer? Like, and don't say anybody with a roof. I mean, like who? Like, give me an example of somebody that has a problem and would call you, and you can come out and fix it.
So one thing that we are very proud of that we do is we work with a lot of insurance companies, like a lot. And I'll let Mike talk a little bit more about that. But I would say a homeowner that is in need due to something that was out of their control, whether it be a storm or hail or wind, something that they weren't planning for. They weren't planning to have a storm tear up their roof. So now they're in a bind and needing service. And so I think that's a very important thing to note, that we work with a lot of insurance companies. So an ideal customer, I think, would be somebody that's in need today. Not the pre-planning is great. It's always great for preventive maintenance and those type of things. But again, somebody that is in need today with an emergency, I think is definitely a good candidate for us.
Piggybacking off that too, being that we do a lot of exterior services, customers who have more than just one project that needs to be taken care of. So it's a turnkey operation. They don't have to hire 5 or 6 different contractors to do 5 or 6 different things. If everything we could handle, it's a one and done. It's one phone call. It's one done. It's amazing. And you'd be surprised how many times we run out to a call on one of our free estimates where somebody needs a roof estimate. And the next thing you know, they're talking to us about siding and windows and gutters and doors. And we're doing a full renovation on the exterior of the home when they were getting ready to outsource that to like 5 or 6 other companies. So we do a lot of those, more than a handful a month, where it ends up being a full remodel. So it's pretty awesome.
Oh, okay. Do you work with condo associations?
A lot. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because I live in a condo and I'm just, I don't know how the roofing works, but if the roof is old and it needs to be replaced, I would assume throughout the entire building, and it needs to be done before, I would assume, before it's an emergency, provided that there is no emergency and a tree doesn't fall on it. So is that, I mean, Valerie, you said like people that have emergencies now, but is that something that you could also come do when a roof is old and needs to be replaced, or it's been a long time?
Absolutely.
I mean, we hope to not have to be there for a 911. We hope that it's the preventive maintenance, the old age. I'm not having any issues, but I know it's getting up there. But we're here for all of it.
Okay. So Joey asked if you have ever worked with Loveless Porter Architects out of Manassas.
I don't think so, Joey. No, sir.
Valerie, you probably know Sean Porter.
I was going to say the name sounds so familiar too. I was like, I bet I've met him.
Probably have, because you do a lot of networking like I do.
I do. I try to be everywhere.
You succeed.
Thanks.
So windows can get very expensive, can they not?
They can.
And when do you know, or as a homeowner, that you might need your windows replaced? Like, why would somebody think to call you? Is it their electric bills or just skyrocketing?
There's a lot of things. So that's a big thing. A lot of people are getting these energy audits on their home to kind of see where they're losing, most of their energy, their heat, their cooling, things like that. And a lot of these companies that are doing that are telling people, new front doors, new windows, upgraded furnaces, thermostats, things that are outside of our realm, but we just hear it. So that's one thing, just more of an energy savings. Number 2, obviously, if you kind of have that fog between glass, that means that the gas is failing, or the seals are failing in that window. You can hire window company or glass companies to come out and replace glass, but you're spending almost just as much on a glass repair than you would on just a full window replacement. But the cool thing with us is that we're linked up with, some of your high-end window companies like Anderson, P.L.L.C, Provia, but we also offer other options, where people might not want to or are able to spend that kind of money, but you can still get a good window. We're not doing any type of low-grade windows, but we're able to offer a good, better, best option and still give you a great product for a fair cost.
And if somebody calls, it determines that they need their windows replaced, would you recommend they do all the windows in the home at the same time?
Not necessarily. I mean, if we know somebody's going to be in there for a long time and they don't have a plan to move anytime soon, we try to tell people do 3 windows at a minimum at a time. If you don't want to do all of them at once, because it is a big bill, no matter what brand you choose, it's still a pretty heavy cost. But we tell people 3 windows at a time, and most people will do sometimes just the front of the house, and then they'll do this, the two sides next, and then they'll do the back the third time around, or vice versa. But yeah, I mean, there's really no savings if you have more than 10 plus windows in the house, whether you do half of them or all of them.
Okay. Oh, well, okay. So that leads me to another question, actually. If you don't do all the windows at the same time, is it going to help with the energy saving, or is it going to be of actual help if you do all the windows at once?
I mean, you're taking a bite out of that problem, right? But it's obviously not the whole thing. So I'm sure there'll be some improvement there, especially if you have an energy audit done again. But you're really not going to get, the full benefit of that savings unless you do everything.
Okay. Well, it makes sense.
Right.
Is there a length of time that would indicate windows would need to be replaced, or is it, like you said, noticing that fog behind the glass?
Again, some of your higher brands and your more expensive brands are going to last a little bit longer than others. But usually around that, that 15 to 20-year mark, especially on some of these homes that were put up a lot quicker than some of your custom places are, they're not using a very high-end window. So, those tend to fail a little bit sooner. But usually within that 15 to 20-year mark, you probably can know it's about time.
Okay. So if you're not the original owner of the house, you probably don't know the quality of windows that were put in.
Exactly.
Well, and what's great about Peak Roofing is we do free estimates, so we can always come out and take a look and kind of give you a little bit of idea on that, what condition they're in, the length of life you still have left, or if you're in the market to start looking.
Yeah, we offer full reports as well. If we need to do a report, we'll be able to actually go through every window, make sure they function, make sure they're working properly, look at all the bells and whistles of them, and go through every one and be able to provide a report to show you which ones are good, which ones are not, which ones we would take care of sooner than later, and vice versa.
Got it. Okay. And when we're talking about windows in a condo building, is that something that you would go through the condo association to look at all of them, or would you do one individual unit at a time?
I guess it depends on who's responsible.
Yeah, so usually, like any other condo, they would send out like a letter pretty much telling everybody, hey, this week we're going to be doing X, Y, Z. But, that would take people to be home during a certain time. So I think with the amount of people in that, it would probably be a pretty lengthy process, but it's doable.
Well, what I mean is, does the condo owner have to be the one that calls and gets this done, or does the condo association do it?
I'm sorry.
Take care of it.
So they are different. So some places that I know, the association takes care of everything on the outside. Right. And then the owner itself takes care of interior. So the windows both, right? So how does that work? We don't know. Like, we'll cover the outside of the window and you cover the inside. Like, you know what I mean? So that's a great question, Gene, and I don't have an answer for you, unfortunately.
I think it's on a base by base place. Like every different association has its own rules or its own, like sometimes the associations only cover the roof and then the homeowner is responsible for everything else. I've seen that where because they're all connected, it's just every place has its own set of rules or different restrictions. And I think it's just a basis by basis one.
Okay. So would that be a good referral for your company, condo associations that have multiple units or apartment buildings?
Absolutely.
We would love to work with HOAs, condos, property management. Absolutely. We'd love to be preferred vendors for any of those type of avenues for sure.
Okay. So an HOA where let's say it's single family homes, does the HOA still cover things on the outside like roofs, or does it just depend on every different association?
So there are some that do take care of them, but they're usually not your single families. They're your conjoined units, your townhouses, like you said, condos, things like that. I've never seen a development with single families that the HOA takes care of them. Okay. But some HOAs actually have their pool houses, their clubhouses, and things like that, and they have full, hands-on responsibility of those. So there's 30 or 40, if not more, of those that we work with across Northern Virginia and Central Virginia that we're their go-to when those come. So it's really cool.
And most HOAs with the single family homes are there's a lot of restrictions and certain colors and certain makes and brands and models. And we just have to be mindful of that when we're working with that particular homeowner who belongs to an association. So we just have to make sure we're all crossing our T's and dotting our I's when it comes to that.
Okay. So you said you work with a lot of insurance companies or insurance agents. So when someone has a claim, they go to their insurance first, I presume, and then the insurance company says, okay, we're going to cut you a check for X amount, and we recommend you call these people, or does the insurance company just call you, or how does that work?
I'll let you take that one.
I would love to. I would love it if it was that easy.
Me too.
So, and
Well,
I'll tell
okay,
you.
fine, but like just for purposes of trying to be brief on the Facebook Live.
No, you did
No,
good. I got
no,
so
that was
excited
so
thinking
great.
it was actually happening. So I got to crying a little bit. But no, real quick. So it's actually a little opposite. So nowadays, insurance companies are a little more strict than they used to be. So when somebody calls their insurance company for a claim or something that they think is wrong, they always tell them to call a contractor first. And then once we
Oh,
make our visit and we do our report, then we'll tell that homeowner, like, yes, you have something worth a claim, or, it's not worth it because it's not even going to exceed your deductible. So just leave it alone. We can fix it for this much. And then that way, the insurance is not even involved. But, let's say that there is damage or we find something that they definitely need to make a claim on, then we'll provide everything. We'll be that middleman, that advocate for them and speak with their insurance company from start to finish, to where the homeowner is only responsible for their deductible and maybe some very, very, very minor basic communication. But other than that, we take it over hands in.
okay. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about the solar panels that you mentioned before?
Sure. So we specialize in solar shingles. Again, Virginia's fully not on board as much as some of the other states have been in the district, but they're jumping in fast. So, we are one of only a few contractors in Virginia who are able to install the new GAF solar shingles. So it's a solar shingle with an asphalt shingle system all in one. The biggest benefit to that is that, Virginia is still giving a 30% tax credit on that whole bill. So,
Oh,
our most recent one was over a $50,000 project. And, 30% of that $15,000, it's going to be, a tax credit, which is huge, so that is a selling point. But some homes we go to for solar is just not a good fit because they're not getting enough sunlight, and the investment that they're looking at making is not going to be worth it in the long run. But the solar shingle actually has a 25-year productivity guarantee, which is huge. And that's actually a little bit more than most of your regular panels that you see on houses, which they call rack panels, the big rectangles on the roof. So the stuff we do is a lot more low profile. And honestly, I think it looks just a whole lot better. It's more smooth.
Very sharp. Yeah.
got it. Okay.
But those are also free with some of our solar estimates. We don't, charge anybody for a solar estimate. We're able to build an actual custom report for their home, not lab tested results, but a actual custom built proposal for their house to show them, yes, it's going to benefit you, or it's not really going to benefit you, So it's awesome.
So something else that I didn't think to ask earlier, do you work with construction companies, contractors that are actually building a home to come in and be like a subcontractor to do the roofing and siding? Is that something you do also?
Absolutely. A lot. We have a lot of local private builders that we work with. And then some of your bigger builders, that of, there are a handful that we do work with, but, we're not going in and doing 200, 350 houses. They've had these guys for 30, 40 years. And they're not going anywhere. So, we've tried, and it's just their businesses are set up a little different. So it just wouldn't work out.
What do you mean their businesses are set up different?
So the contractors they use are almost contractors that we would use. So they're kind of cutting out the middleman.
Oh,
So they're a lot more cost friendly when it comes to such a volume of homes that they're building.
got it. Okay. Okay. Well, before I get into another dad joke, is there anything else that I have not asked that we need to discuss or tell people? Because again, I'm a new homeowner, so luckily I haven't had any problems to have to ask about. But maybe something that people should be like on the lookout for, something like that.
The storms we've been getting over the years, and with our business, we really have to focus on weather. Weather. We have to look at forecasts when we have roofs going in. We're not tearing roofs off when there's weather coming in, things like that. But something that a new homeowner should probably keep an eye on for is, like stains in the ceiling, and just kind of focusing on your basic maintenance things on the outside of home, like you mentioned, power washing, getting that stuff taken care of, getting your gutters cleaned out, making sure your chimney's okay. I mean, there's a lot of little things that you can do as a new homeowner or even an old homeowner who, that needs to keep your eyes on to make sure that it doesn't get to a point where it's, catastrophic. If you have somebody who can go in an attic and kind of do a quick peek in the attic and shine a flashlight around to make sure you don't see anything abnormal. I mean, all those things are things that we can do for you and offer and to take a look at.
Mm-hmm. Now, once let's say you notice a stain on the ceiling, does that mean that it's too late and you have a big problem?
It doesn't necessarily have to be big. Sometimes we go and see a stain, and sometimes we get up in the attic and it happens to be something leaking out of the furnace in the attic. It has nothing to do with the roof. It's a leak in the furnace or the pan underneath of that unit. So it's very minor, and an HVAC company comes in and takes care of it. But sometimes too, you have a lot of penetrations through your roof, and a lot of those flashings are rubber. And especially some of the newer construction homes, the rubber gasket around a lot of these penetrations to go through the roof, they sit in the sun all the time, right? They're not taking shelter. So they dry rot, they'll split. So something that you see in the house that you would think would be thousands of dollars, we're going up there and taking care of it for a few hundred. It's not always as bad as it seems.
Okay. But it's important to have somebody come out and do a free estimate to make sure that it's not bad or doesn't get worse.
And then also people right now, the market's a little wild, but people who are like buying and selling, people contact us a lot to do home inspections. Well, not home inspections, but inspections on their exterior products, like their siding, the windows, the gutters, the roofing.
Or it is a home inspection that the home inspector marked certain things to be checked, and they just want to have that contractor come out and take a look. So yeah. I think that's what that's where
so it's the other side of that. But yeah, I mean, that's another thing, we do those too. We look at those inspections, we come out to see if it really is a problem. And if it is, we can offer, a very fair estimate to get it fixed. So you can either sell your house or have a peace of mind knowing that you're going into something that's okay.
Mm-hmm. That was actually another question I was going to ask earlier and forgot. Do you recommend that people that are going to be selling their houses contact your company or companies that do other things inside the house to make sure everything is okay, or is that more on the buyer to look for that in an inspection?
What we're seeing now, most buyers are doing it than anything. We do have people, and I actually had one today, ladies putting her house on the market, and she wanted their whole roof looked at before she put it on the market to make sure she was comfortable selling her home knowing that everything was okay. So good for her, But a lot of times, the things will get done and everything's fine. And most people just put it on the market and they just don't know if there's anything wrong. But they'll usually find out when the home inspection is done, So.
I knew Mike was the best person to bring to this.
So is that something that you do frequently? Like people have an inspection done, they find something, and then you come in and either the seller pays for it or the buyer pays for it or whatever. Is that common?
A lot, yeah. And most people will agree, and they'll settle up at closing kind of deal, So a lot of times it's nothing major, which is nice. It's very minor repairs and maintenance, and we make sure that they get another 10 plus years on that roof system.
Mm-hmm. Now you mentioned something that led me to another question. Do home inspectors inspect the exterior of the house?
Yes,
they inspect the whole thing? Okay.
Inside, outside. Those guys spend hours and hours looking at every nook and cranny, making sure that everything's right. So, I mean, they do a really good job.
Okay. And I assume you have home inspectors that you work with and recommend?
Absolutely.
So what kind of, aside from what we already discussed, what companies do you generally try to work with or partner with?
Well, it's kind of funny because we didn't realize, how many people kind of tie into the stuff we do. So most of your bigger trades, like your HVAC companies, your electricians, your plumbers, like believe it or not, we actually work with a lot of those guys, hand in hand. HVAC companies are putting big penetrations through the roof for their furnaces to vent. Plumbing guys put the bathroom pipes through the roof for them to vent. We have to flash those properly. You have electricians who are messing with siding a lot, on meter boxes on the outside of the home. So they're coming in and getting those ready for new ones, for flashing them properly. I mean, there's a lot of it that entails, like free work. we talked about that earlier. Stuff falls on roofs all the time. They get the tree off it. They need the roof fixed. So
Mhm.
it's usually a little bit more, way more trades involved than what I would even have thought when I started doing this.
So, like, say something terrible like that happens, a tree falls on the roof, you get the tree removed, but you maybe can't actually repair the roof because of bad weather or something. I mean, is there anything you guys can do to kind of keep it at bay so, it doesn't leak in or it doesn't leak as bad with that big gaping hole in the roof?
Yeah, we do a lot of tarping. So, a few years ago, we all experienced that really big windstorm back in 2017 or 18.
Hmm.
I think all of us literally tarped for like 60 something days in a row, like 7 days a week. And we had sales guys out, repair guys out, all of our contractors out. We had our in-house girls going crazy. But yeah, we'll do an immediate repair to keep you watertight until the insurance company can come out. But a lot of times, if it's that bad, the insurance companies will just rely on our pictures, and then they get it moving and they expedite it to make sure you don't have a huge hole in the roof for a long period of time.
Right. Oh, I didn't even think about that. So how long does it take an insurance company to come out and inspect something?
It depends on the severity of the damage, right? So if they know it's one little, golf ball sized hole in the roof and they know it's watertight, it could take them a week. It could take them 3 weeks, depending on who else has problems in the area. But I know a lot of insurance companies sometimes bring in guys from out of state to help them with claims if they get bearing or overloaded. And,
Mhm.
they move on it pretty quick, and they're all pretty good about getting it off their plates and on to the next one. So it's nice. We're not
Mhm.
waiting much.
Yeah. Well, it's getting a little scary actually, thinking about the things that could happen and how long a hole could be in the roof.
We've
Um,
seen it all.
we've seen what?
We've seen it all.
I bet. So if something like, so I kind of asked this earlier, but in my head, I wasn't clear with the response. Something happens, falls on your roof, you got a hole in the roof. Um, how should the homeowner or whoever it is immediately call insurance? Like if it's a visibly big problem, or immediately call you? Should they call you first?
Something that big, like you're talking about, obviously you want to get guidance from the insurance company, because
Okay.
even though you're under stress and like freaking out, right? You don't want to do the wrong thing, because then the insurance company could say, "Oh, we didn't this or we didn't that," and then
Hmm.
you're in a bit of a fight there. But your home is your biggest investment, so
Hmm.
you're going to take care of that before you take care of anything, other than your children, right? Maybe depends on the size of the house. I'm just kidding. But it's scary, and I get it. I've had claims where water's coming in and you can't stop it, and you don't know what to do. Obviously, you
Uh-huh.
want to take care of that problem first before you even think about picking up the phone and calling anybody. But it's probably best to call your insurance company to kind of ask for guidance on what to do best, so that way that
Uh-huh.
you can get covered fully 100%.
And forgive me if this is a stupid question, but do the homeowners insurance companies answer phones 24 hours a day?
Not all of
I
them.
guess it wasn't a stupid question.
No such thing as a stupid question.
Huh.
So no, they
Okay.
don't. I mean, I know a lot of them do have like emergency lines, but most
Hmm.
people don't even know who their insurance company is, because they've never filed a claim. You know, so when I ask, "Hey, who are you insured through?" They're like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Okay, well let's look into that, and then we can start from there and then move on." So
All right. So if nobody's answering at their insurance company, call you guys.
yeah.
Oh, or do you guys have a 24-hour like answering service, or can they call you anytime, day or night?
So our office does not, and that's something that we've actually been thinking about a lot the last couple of years, is actually keeping a 24/7 line open where we would have
Hmm.
somebody on call, every
Hmm.
weekend or in the evening.
I will say though, when we know that there is a huge storm coming, or we know that really bad weather is coming, we do have girls that will answer phones through the weekend. If it's a 911, we do have those guys that are ready, boots to the ground. But we're not technically a 24-hour emergency service company. But again, if we know it's coming and we can help plan and be on call and try to do that, we do try to do that. But again, like Mike said, it is something that we're in discussion about. But we have been known to have some on calls throughout the weekend, and have went out on weekends for emergency stuff when it's came about.
And we're pretty, and our in-house guys too, pretty awesome about handing out tons of our business cards. So most people will call me directly, so they have my number, and I mean, I know that's not good for a new customer, but once they become our customer, I tell people I'm available all the time, Saturday, Sunday, evenings, mornings. I've had people call me at 3 a.m. with water coming in. And we've taken care of it. It's just one of those things. But yeah, we're working on it. So it's going to be something we're definitely going to look at soon.
I was just curious. I mean, I don't know how common that is in.
Pretty rare, but it's a great question for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anything else that either one of you wants to tell? We actually have a lot of people watching this right now.
Awesome.
Hi, everybody.
I can see the number of people, but I can't see who's watching. I can see that. I don't know if you know Sarah Tyndall. She liked it. She liked the video. Drew Hale, Tiffany Eisenhower. Hi, Tiffany. Alvaro Rodriguez, and of course, Joey, who was asking all the questions.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thanks for having us. I really appreciate you reaching out about us getting on here. And Mike, thank you for taking time out of your day to come with me. I love this stuff. I love talking about P.L.C. and spreading the word and awareness. The one thing I like to share too is the owners of P.L.C. Roofing. They are all huge community members. They love being out in the community. They love doing stuff with the community. We are really big with a lot of different charities, Boys and Girls Club, Alzheimer's, Feed Fakir, the free veteran roof that we do. We just do a lot of great things. The company is amazing. And like Mike said, when you become a customer with us, it's not just you do a job and then we're done. Like, you're a P.L.C. family member to us. You are in the P.L.C. family. You're solid. We are here for you.
You're a lifer.
You're a lifer. I can't say it enough.
Well, before we go though, I do have to get in at least one dad joke.
Let's hear it.
You ready?
Ready.
I got to pick a good one. Why do fathers take an extra pair of socks when they go golfing?
Hit me.
In case they get a hole in one. Okay, one more. I told Valerie this yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to say we have one more.
Okay, fine. Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
Oh, I heard this one.
I told you yesterday, Valerie.
You told me this one. He was the best swinging in his field, right?
I said don't say it. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field.
She ruined
I ruined it. I'm so bad at this.
She was like, because
and you didn't even say it like.
Are you ready?
Sorry.
Last one. Okay. What do you call a newly divorced roofer?
I don't know.
Shingle and ready to mingle.
Nice.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I didn't say thank you. I said nice.
I know. I heard you.
Jean, thank you so much for having us.
You are welcome. Before you guys go, I always forget to tell people this. When I end the broadcast, it's not going to be live. We're not going to be live on Facebook anymore, but you guys and I will still be here so we can chat for a second. So I'm going to end. I just wanted to let you know, don't X out right away.
Sure. You got it.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in, and Joey for your questions. And Joey, I hope you tune in again next time in 2 weeks. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you.